Hi, everyone, and welcome to the screencast for this weekend. I hope you all had a great weekend and a great first week. Schedule for the week. Nothing too big on Monday, but on Tuesday we have a PTA meeting at 6:30. Wednesday we have our first fire drill. That's at 9:25 or around that time. I won't usually put the times in there, but for this first one we will, so make sure you practice that or review that with your class. We have a rally on September 13th, Thursday at 2 o'clock, and we have Picture Day on Friday. So there you have it for the schedule of the week. So I quickly mentioned our PTA meetings. We have a PTA meeting scheduled for each month. This year I would really appreciate it and strongly encourage grade levels and any teams that would be interested in picking a PTA meeting to attend. They start at 6:30. We have a very supportive PTA, and going there and showing our support for them and being able to share some information is always helpful. So I'm going to put this in the staff lounge. Grade levels, think about a time that works for you, a month that you'd like to take on and just come and maybe share a couple things that you're doing at your grade level. So not stressful at all, but we want to make sure that we have strong connections with our PTA. So sign up for one of those and we'll move forward from there. All right, I want to talk a little bit about some of the assessments upcoming and assessment things that we need to do. First off, map testing. This year, all elementary schools are doing fall map for math and reading, and we'd like to complete those by Friday, September 21st, which is within the next 2 weeks. I know that Kathy sent some information out on that, so start thinking about when you're going to do those, and we'll get that taken care of. So important to get those done within the next 2 weeks. And then moving on, thinking about our assessment days. This year, Kathy Torito is asking that our assessment day data is sent over in, that she has a hard copy that's sent over. And on here, there's links to each grade level. I'm going to click on one here. Well, of course, now I got to make a copy. Should have done that ahead of time. But here we have our spreadsheet. And so she's asking that everybody put the information in here, when it took place, all of that kind of fun stuff. I'm going to change that a little bit. After you have completed, clicked on the link, put it in there, instead of sending it over to Kathy yourself, I'm going to ask you to give a copy of that to Michelle in the office, and we are going to send over our whole data as a school so she has it in one place. The reason for doing that is just to make sure that there's less confusion or things being missed. So if you could make a copy, give a hard copy to Michelle in the office, and we'll send over our whole school rather than you sending over individual ones to Kathy. So hopefully that makes sense. So click on the link, put your information in there, make a copy of it, give it to Michelle in the office by September 19th, and we'll send over our whole school to her. Hopefully that will cut down on teachers here and that it wasn't sent over and any confusion on that. All right, moving on. Just talking a little bit about our behavior procedures. We are only heading into the second week, so far we haven't had a whole lot of behavior things going on, and we also know that we have Paula with us, who is our new quiet room person, Paula Peterson. So we're slowly figuring those things out. We also have PBIS. So just some general things. We know that we want students to be in the class so that they can learn. We also know there's times where kids are having issues, and there's some things that we always try to do in your classrooms, and I know teachers are doing those, whether that's taking a break, pulling them aside and talking with them, using a buddy room, etc. And if you've tried those things and that student still needs a break to get reset, the first thing to do is to call the quiet room. Paula is, if there's nobody in the quiet room, there's times when Paula is in the hallway or helping out at recess to cut down on other things. So if no one answers the quiet room, call the main office, and we'll get hold of someone to help you out and help with that student. So just a reminder too, if you send a student to the quiet room, you need to make sure that you contact that parent, hopefully by the end of the day, preferably by phone. I know we get to a point where some parents want to be contacted by email or other things like that, but preferably by phone. So just be aware of that. If you need support, call the quiet room. If no one's there, call the office and make sure that you have contact with that family too, so they know that they know what's going on there too. All right. Here's a new one. New lighting. Westwood is going to be replacing all of the lights within our school, and we are going to be doing that by October 15th. The reason we're doing that is there's some kind of grant that makes that possible, and I believe it's Olson that put Olson on there as a school that's already done that. What's the reason for doing that? It saves a lot of money. They last longer, so our custodians aren't having to replace bulbs. And so that's kind of some big savings. Of course, we want to make sure the lighting is correct. My understanding it's going to be the white lights, which have less impact on headaches and other things like that. They're going to be installed at night from about 3:30 p.m. until 12 p.m. or till 12 midnight. And that's going to be completed by October 15th, so things are going to be moving quickly. We even have the lights switched out in the gym. So pretty much all areas within our school that's going to be taking place. You might have noticed the dumpster and the storage area thing right outside our custodial door, the door by the parking lot. So we're really moving on that fast. As I have more information on that, I'll let you know. I think it's a good thing, but it's going to take a little time, but it really should not be disrupting us during the school day at all. All right. At the meeting I went to on Thursday, one of the things we talked a little bit about is curriculum and instruction. I thought I'd share this slide with you just so that you see kind of who's in charge of what if you have questions. So we know Rachel Jens is our curriculum and instruction director. Above her is Andy Kubis. Kelsey Nash is going to be doing curriculum and instruction specialist for elementary. So just a little bit of information there. You can also click on this curriculum review cycle if you're interested on that. So I'm going to try to share information that I get from those meetings just to keep people informed on what's going on. Another thing that we talked about was mindful use of a technology. We have tons of devices within our schools. The question is, how are we using those? How does that help with our instruction? How do we balance all that? This is a link, so if you're interested in hearing more about that or learning more about that, there's a whole slideshow talking about technology and some of the things that we're trying to accomplish with that this year. I'm not going to go into that, but if you're interested, go ahead and click on that. Also, we do have a new tech integrationist that is assigned to our school and a few of our other elementary schools, and that's Devin Tomsick. I haven't met with her yet, but I'm looking forward to that. If you have interests, if you have some things that you're interested in learning more about, you can see that there's some things here that she can help with. Not quite sure how we will be using her within our school, but that is a great resource. Also, Jenny Thorpe will be back, so I'm excited about that. That is for sure. So Jenny, welcome back. We're excited to be connecting with you, and she will be our QCOM coach, so that is great. Another thing that we talked about Thursday was the PGP infrastructure. And PGP is something that's really affecting secondary more than us, but it's the whole idea of looking at post-high school and what are kids interested in, trying to set them up for success as far as careers. And so there's a lot of work of at self-discovering, figuring out what people are interested in, looking at if, depending on their interests, what they need to do to get to the career that they want. It's a pretty big deal. And anyway, I just want you to know about that. If you're interested in learning more about that, let me know. But all kids, all high school kids, I believe middle school kids too, are doing some things online to really think about careers and what they want to do. One of the takeaways from me, we spend a lot of time talking about college and 4-year careers, and sometimes there's other careers that only need 2 years of post-secondary, and we need to be mindful of that and thinking about where we want our kids to be. So let me know if you want more information on that. Just a quick slide here letting you know what some things are happening at the secondary level. Well, that's all I have, but I would like to thank everyone for all your help this week, last week, making things start in a good note, and all of our support in the lunchroom for making us get through our lunch as quickly as possible. Lisa Stewart and her crew in the lunchroom making that work. All of us that are trying to make things work well at the beginning of the school year, thank you. I really thought we are off to a good start. Let's make sure we support our new staff. We have a lot of new staff in all different grade levels, and looks like we're doing well. So thank you all for your support, and let's make it another great week. Take care, everyone.